Patrick Benil back here with you at the intermission, and joined now by Halifax Mooseheads for Jordan Dumais. Jordan, playoffs starting up. How excited are you and your Mooseheads teammates for this playoff run?
Yeah, we're definitely really excited. Obviously, with COVID and all that, playoffs are a bit different, such things, but I think we're all pretty confident and we're excited.
And obviously a big rivalry matchup to start. You've been a Moosehead your whole Q career. How much does it mean to play the Eagles in the first round? And the first time these teams have played in a long time in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. We both know each other really well, and it might get a little trippy out there, but at the end of the day, it's going to be fun to play them, and we can't wait.
Big year for you, not just on the score sheet, but you also signed a contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Going back to the draft last year, did you know it was going to be Columbus, and how much of a weight off your shoulders was it to sign that contract?
I had no clue at the draft. I haven't talked to Columbus that much, but I was grateful to get drafted by them, and especially signing pretty early on. It was great for me and my family. I was honored.
World Juniors were in Halifax this year. Obviously, a lot of Mooseheads fans would have loved to have seen you be there. You end up being one of the later cuts, which is a story battling adversity, because the same thing after you weren't named to the top prospects game last year. How much do you use that stuff as motivation for your own career?
When I went to a World Junior camp, I knew what I was getting into. Also, I was a younger guy and things like that, but I tried my best and I came up short. But at the end of the day, like you said, I always kind of play with a chip on my shoulders. It didn't affect me too much, but obviously kind of think about it once in a while.
You're a smaller player, but you seem to be able to work that to your advantage. Just talk about the challenges of being a smaller guy and how you've been able to overcome them.
Personally, I don't think there really are any challenges yet. I think it's more people just putting them on me, but I think I just play my game and really my size, I don't really think about it at all. And I just play my game and everything's always fine.
Last year, you were the CHL Sportsman of the Year, a big accomplishment. Not a player who spends a lot of time in the penalty box. Just how much did it mean to win that award, and how important is it for you to provide a high skill level while not taking your team down by taking penalties?
Obviously, it's cool to get a reward in some type of way at the end of the season and all that, but I'm not a guy who really gets frustrated on the ice ever, so I think that kind of explains it.
A lot of people may not know you actually started your hockey playing days in New York. Was the culture different down there playing minor hockey as opposed to when you moved back home to Quebec?
Yeah, maybe a bit. I was really young, so I don't really remember everything. But from what I remember, it was a great time living down there with my family. And I was always from Montreal, but I just moved there for 3 years for my dad's job. So I made some friends. It's kind of where I started playing hockey. Some good memories from over there.
Was that your first time being in an English environment? Did you already have the language down before you went down?
I think it was my first time. I was only 7 years old, and my family's French, from French place, so I was French. But growing up, when I moved back to Montreal, where I live in Montreal, it's all English and all that. I've been speaking English since then.
Given that you had experience with that, maybe not surprising you decided to go to prep school to play hockey before coming to the QMJHL. Tell us about that. And given that, did you ever have any indication that you might play in the NCAA as opposed to playing in the Q?
Honestly, when I was younger, I always saw myself going to NCAA. I didn't really know or think about the Q, but I decided to go to prep school, I think, for more exposure for the NCAA. And I think it was a good experience for maturity and all that, living away from home in a dorm and a few friends there. So, it was a lot of fun overall.
Monster season for you this year, surpassing the 140-point mark. No one had hit 120 since Connor Garland in 2016, and no one had hit 140 since Radulov in 2006. What's been going right for you this season? A season that we haven't really seen in quite some time from a Q player.
I think I work really hard, especially during the summer. I know my flaws, and I did a lot of work in the gym and on the ice. I think it's basically just hard work paying off, but obviously we have a really good team, and it takes a lot off my back. I have such good line mates, and they're well coached, so I think overall everything fits in for me well. Speaking
of your line mates, the last two games, we've seen you paired up on a trio with the other two leading scorers in the league, and Alex Doucette and Josh Lawrence, both new to the Mooseheads this year. How do you like how the chemistry on that line has come along in recent weeks?
Obviously, we have some chemistry, but obviously we're also good in our own areas, and I think we all benefit each other really well, and we haven't really been playing with each other that much, but when we are, and I think we have a lot of fun out there, and it's easier for all of us.
You wear an A as well, so it's not just about points. Obviously, leadership is important. How much do you take that responsibility seriously?
I'm not a really old guy, I'd say, but I think we're a pretty young team, and I think there are a lot of younger guys than me, so I'll try to show by example for them. And I try to off the ice, but my main one is to show the example on the ice. I know guys might look up to me and see how I do things and all that. I just try to play my game and try to be good to them.
Talk about being a younger team. You did have playoff experience last year against Bathurst. You take that lead, but ultimately it's a veteran T10 team that wins. But how much do you think that tight series is going to help you guys in what you hope is a long playoff run this year?
I think it definitely helped us, and we went through some adversity there, obviously, and I think it was a lot of our first guys' playoffs, especially me. It was my first playoffs ever, so I think we learned a lot out of it. It didn't end the way we wanted last year, but we're going to make sure it doesn't happen this year. So,
now, given what you've seen from Eagles Mooseheads games in the past, and that the playoffs Friday night, just how crazy do you expect the atmosphere to get tonight?
Hopefully it's going to be crazy. Like I said, I haven't been in playoffs yet, but from what I've heard, the fans get even crazier during playoffs, and it's going to be really fun playing at our own barn for a few rounds, having more home games. So.
We've kind of touched on it already, but the last one for people who hadn't seen you before, how would you describe Jordan Dumais as a player?
I think I'm a pretty offensive player. That's my main motto, and I try to work my hardest and could be good in the corners and all that. But overall, if yours, I think I'm an offensive player. So
fans in Halifax have certainly enjoyed watching that so far. Best of luck going forward, Jordan. Thanks for this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's Halifax Mooseheads forward Jordan Dumais joining us at the intermission. You're listening to Cape Breton Credit Union Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.